All right, you guys. So we are back for strategy five to go over the answers. This one's on using a variety of sentence styles, but mostly on using formal language and dialect. And I use the example of dialect right there at the beginning with "Welcome back, you guys." That's more of a northern thing. In southern mode, "Welcome back, y'all." We'll move on to the work. I unintentionally showed a little bit of this as I was going through the lesson. But let's go through it now in some detail. So number one, we are picking the expression that uses the most formal language, and it's C, attend Megan's retirement party. A strong verb there, and we've avoided vague expressions like come on over. We've avoided informal language like bash instead of party. And C gets the most formal, or is the most formal version of the sentence. Okay, in 2 through 5, we are identifying the informal language and correcting it. You'll see that I haven't written the entirety of the sentences here, but have corrected the part that's informal. So in 2, it's wanna, do you want to? Let's turn it into the actual words that wanna is meant to resemble. Okay, 3, the vague, slangy expression, I will take you up on that offer, becomes I will accept. A strong verb. Lucy tried to decipher, strong verb that takes the place of this slang, figure out, slangy and vague. And then finally, Johnny passed up. It's a bit of an idiom, a bit of slang. So we use the strong verb, Johnny declined. Okay, down to the multiple choice. In number 6, which sentence is written using formal language? It's C, I plan to participate, strong verbs, tomorrow afternoon, precise mention of time. A, B, and C have some idioms, some slangy expression in them that prevents them from being formal language. Okay, in 7, it is D that is written in formal language. A, whatcha is informal. We have a contraction in B. We have another contraction in C. We spell out verb phrases in formal language. We don't use contractions. So that's why D is the answer. And in number 8, sentence 1 is the formal language. In some of the rest of the sentences, of course, we had contractions and slangy expressions, and sentence 1 avoids those. On our next page, we're looking at dialect, regional speech that has been written out either through the vocabulary or even maybe through grammar rules that are intentionally broken or not observed in the dialect. Okay, so in number 8, it's actually the word stoop that is supposed to be dialect. It confused me a little bit at first. I just thought stoop was the normal term for kind of like the front porch or a small front porch. But the front landing of a home is called the stoop, and after thinking about it a little bit, I realized that that's what we're going for. Okay, number 10, Dunker is kind of like a northeastern Boston area expression to mean donut. If you think about Dunkin' Donuts, which comes from Massachusetts originally, that might help you a little bit there. 11, sneakers, shoes, although athletic shoes would be more precise, or tennis shoes. We don't mean dress-up shoes when we talk about sneakers. And then finally, here's a southern one. I reckon means about the same thing as I suppose or I guess. An uncertain but somewhat confident opinion on something or assertion. Okay, and then our last 3 multiple choice. In 13, which sentence is written correctly to use an example of dialect? And it's this in B, Wyatt is going to college. That's something I doubt that many of us are familiar with in speech, but certainly A, C, and D don't have anything like that. So we can assume that a going is used somewhere, and I think that's a Midwestern thing, like maybe up in Wisconsin, Michigan, upper Midwest of the country, you would hear people talk this way. Maybe even in Canada also. Okay, 14, which sentence is written carefully to use, correctly I should say, to use a dialect? In its A, do y'all know? And that's a Southern one, of course, but the expression y'all is one that's unique to us in the South, although catching on in a lot of other parts of the country as well. And lastly, 15, which of the sentences uses a dialect? In its B, sentence 2, he spent several weeks in the hospital. Spent, kind of a vague term. He was recovering in the hospital for several weeks. Increasing the precision of that sentence can make it a little bit more formal and take that little bit of dialect in the word spent out. But again, I don't think that it's super recognizable, but that's the answer for there. Sentences 3 and 4 had no examples of dialect at all. So in 2, it's pretty subtle, but it's there in the word spent. And several is also part of it as well. All right, that concludes the answers part of this lesson. We are finishing a unit, so the next time that you see me on video, it will be going over the Unit 1 review. So make sure that you've done that before you watch that video. Otherwise, you're going to feel a little lost. Okay, I will see you next time. Have a great one, and good luck on that Unit 1 practice assessment. I hope it goes well for you, but we will talk about all of that in the next video. Have a good one.